Yeah, this should work. Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Yeah, so
What about it? I don't know, it really depends. I remember, like, off the top of my head, one of them was, like, city sports. It's kind of been part of it. So that was part of, like, what kind of made it interesting.
Topics are always ambiguous.
Yeah. So it's, like, hard to define what actually differentiates a sport, like, what it is exactly a sport, what's not a sport. So it's like a one-word prompt a lot of times. Like, it's just something to kind of, like, sometimes it's more straight, like, here's a thing, use it, which is strict to me personally. Is there, like, usually, is there, like, I remember, like, it's just a while ago, but there was an interesting where they had, like, a boilerplate game, and it was like, you have to make a product and see it is really specific, and you can't change the mechanics to it all. Like, all you can do is article that you can tell that so that was like really laser focused on which is a nice contrast. Like focus on this particular really? Building up like I remember what do you use? Yeah, that doesn't really overlap with the game stuff. I mean, that's the way to I'm trying to get do like JavaScript kind of more lightweight stuff. Oh yeah. They have like little a lot of people now. I guess they came in here and did a lot of that, like grad school, like doing Python. It's just like like the easiest way to.
Did you graduate with engineering degree?
Yeah.
Which engineering?
So it's just like
I started off as computer science. I'm still in it.
I guess there was where you go to school.
Yeah. South Carolina.
Oh, okay. What are you doing here?
Entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you interning with?
The Fentress Institute. It's like
on the parking lot, on the in-person parking lot?
I don't have to be honest.
Have you been here?
Yeah. I don't explore the city. So.
It's like the the parkway, like that's where the it's like a big fountain.
It's my first week here.
Where you?
Yeah.
I think you gotta be really deliberate to actually learn stuff about a place. It took us to get used to it. We first moved here, we had to slamming going watching us. You could walk through most of
Well, I'm not staying in Philly. I drive.
It's like very like the program stuff. You don't work like
I don't know. I live in Villanova.
so you probably take this
I just followed my GPS.
Maybe if you go up to like,
But it's all very like.
but it might, I don't want to go too far into community talk. I was basically just trying to work in how much I can driving to school. But actually, I first was trying to work out how much I hate Centro, and then I fell back.
Yeah. We'll see.
But like, as long as you don't like. It's funny. I figured like. So what do you here with? This was only for game. I guess.
Yeah, like taking my major like 2.5 years, like
So like
I'm not ready to go out. Yeah, I want a job.
Right. Yeah.
What's that hope for? Whether that's starting my own company or whatever case it does. I really want to incorporate whatever I do with images, whether that be like
Yeah, I can't understand. I guess the two guys that puts on the meetup,
more like a freelance.
there was a big issue there. I was excited. Probably they're like a game developer. Do something like that.
One of the biggest like avenues you can go into is you can really make anything for an advertiser in the game.
Figured I'd recognize. I feel like that's it. I don't recognize anything.
So that's one thing. You know, it's just like even commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably that.
Yeah.
That's a big. That's a six. Just remember John. So what's your name? Or is it I think I played one that's like right, yeah. I played a couple, but I never played the like the RPG style one. It's like a medieval game like that was supposed to be, it was a couple of years ago now that I remember hearing about it. And I think it was released, I don't know if I'd recognize the name. I know like it was really big into like the sword mechanics. Yeah. Exactly. That's the first game I remember, at least for PC, really focused so much on that. Yeah, the game seems really tedious. Like it seems
so
like a
janky.
janky.
It is so janky. It is like it was like what I call it was like our version of what's that newer like realistic video game? Like the
So like armies or first
I believe yeah, first person. It was like the whole. I mean, I say realistic is like the whole advertising is hinging on it being like I have not.
like what about it? It's just like a
I mean, the thing about this is just like it's realistic, but also really, really janky. And that was kind of it had a lot of stuff that was kind of more. I don't want to say realistic, but like more sort of historical based kind of stuff. You know, where like you're not a hero, you're sort of being around, but also pretty much all of the art and a lot of the mechanics were just like very big groups of that would be awesome. I kind of lost track of it. I was really interested in it, but then they kind of just did like the expansions. I've heard a lot about it. I've been waiting for it for years. One of my clients was working on space. Like spaceship yeah, that was like the really disappointing thing for me with Bound Boy was that like the combat was pretty different from a lot of other stuff out there at the time. But what I was really interested in was like the campaign stuff, even though it was actually like really ridiculous and like there were a lot of problems with it, but it had a lot of cool stuff. But like all the like chivalry like took. So you play through the story and then you don't. You don't play like the sandbox. I really got that. When you pick up a game, do you only play the campaign? That's what first, or do you like? Oh, then it's side quest. Nick Roll. Usually I just side that active. I was just saying, like the message was impact on other games like they had. I was like, I'm interested in all that other stuff, which never really carried over.
I don't know, Sean. Why can't you show and tell your frugal game? Frugal game. Frugal game. Your frugal game.
It's on Steam. Because it was a lot of problems, it's not what most people do.
Don't tweet about it if you don't want nobody to know about it.
At least as far as
watching it play. Oh yeah. I mean, I've been I really like sci-fi. Of course, I also switched over right after like season 6 of Game of Thrones. So like, I think it's kind of hard to beat. Yeah, skipping a year. Like a year and a half or something. I don't know.
that's the last season of Game of Thrones. I kind of stopped season 5.
What's wrong with that? Did you read the books first?
Well, I watched the first season. It's amazing. I read all of it. It's different than books now.
Yeah, well, they, because
mean, I think that I give the show a lot of credit. Like, it's a really good adaptation. There's some things I don't like, some things I do like. You know, but in terms of roping me into the books, you did a really good job. It's not like I watched the first season and then read the first book and was like, hey, this sucks. This isn't what I expected. So I mean, in that sense, it was pretty good. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I mean, once you read the book.
Well, here's my 3D stuff. Concept by Thomas Mahan. So I was looking through concept art. I really like this kind of weapon set, and it would be a challenge to try like this kind of hewn shader, not really a shader, more like a line outside of the edges. I did the rendering in Unreal Engine, so that was really challenging and interesting to learn Unreal Engine rendering. This is another 3D model I did in the fall semester. This was me learning ZBrush and texture painting. This is another project from ZBrush that I did with character modeling for the first time. I actually rigged this the other day, and the rig failed horribly, so I'm not going to show that. But you know, this is really cool. I want to do like an Overwatch lizard style. And that's like all the other stuff. Yeah. This is a video of my mole game. We might as well do it. I actually haven't shown this to a lot of people. So, problems with this, but I like it.
No, check. No, baby, check.
Yeah, so the music was done by Spencer. There he is over there. You can buy costumes, so our artists did different costumes. Yeah, and you can buy all of these different things, you know, get money by stacking really high and buying stuff, and then going back to the costumes and, you know, actually changing the species of your animals. And change, this is a fancy set, so you know it actually changes and whatnot. So let's look at the sporty set and see how that goes. And it plays exactly the same way, so it's just very positive. But yeah, it shows your best cards, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, and if it tips over, it tips over. Yeah.
Did you program that as well?
I programmed the entire thing. Okay, oops, excuse me. So I programmed this in Unity 2D. It was a semester-long project in our mobile development class. I had two other artists with me. One was a more dedicated artist that did all the costumes, and another person did all the marketing for it. So that, I didn't include the marketing stuff in here, but you know, quick. Yeah. Okay. Next. Oh no. Okay. Wait. How long is this video? 27 seconds. Sure. I did another game, fall semester. That was a 2D platformer in Unity. I also programmed this one. It's called Milo's Adventure. Also had two other artists on the team. You know, they did all the stuff. So we designed like enemies and, you know, movement and how different mechanics work. So this one, he has a helmet, so you need to bop him twice. And that's pretty much all I have for Milo's Adventure. Yeah, these are all the animations that I did for him. So game animation is a lot different. I wanted to have a boss, but there wasn't enough time to do bosses, so I'm just keep going with this. I did a lot of the design for the environment pieces, so doing an atlas or tile-based stuff. This was the initial concept, and then this was the actual tiles in game. And then I did a dating simulator. I'm not going to play this at all. Dating sim, okay.
5 more minutes.
Let's play it.
Alright, so I actually have this on itch.io. You can play play it. I'll put the link later. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
please.
So this is for my creative writing class, hybrid genre. So I had to combine 2 different genres. I chose dating sim and metafiction. So metafiction essentially is like having parts of literature that reveals itself, that like makes it obvious that this is a piece of fiction, that there's author in it. It takes you out of like the immersive moment. You know, think of like Deadpool, you know, referring to himself all the time as a character. So first day, as a student, I'm more college of art and sadness as a freshman. So you have these different options of where you're gonna go and whatnot. I included my friend Roz in the game, but I couldn't get a picture of her, so I did Kojima for her art. It's really lame, so this is the kind of gameplay. So there's 2 mini games in it. So this one, you're at the end of this character's route. You share a dinner with this person, and there is an argument on who's going to put the plate away. So this is the tug for this plate of leftover food that you're going to take away. So this is just spamming it, you know. Yeah, whatever. So you won, right? And it's like, haha, I win, whatever. And then Roz, if you know her, this would make more sense to you, but you guys don't. So that's a success. So that's just an example of a mini game. And I think that was it from presentation. Yeah.
Where'd your doofus go?
Alright, no questions? And up next is Corey.
That was not inspiring, everybody.
Make sure you stand this side.
The most like trust, yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Corey. A lot of you guys know me, and this is something I've been doing for 4 months now, where Lady Gaga, what color hair? Country.
Polka.
Polka. Oh, she did? Okay, never mind. No, that's
Polka metal?
Polka metal, yeah.
Yeah, polka metal.
Polka metal, it's right there. Top one.
third one. Can't ignore the will of the people.
This guy's covers are the fucking bomb.
I didn't realize how many ads we were going to have to watch when I
Maybe it's at the end.
Alright, let's do another. Let's go bluegrass. There's always a bluegrass cover.
Yeah, that's the second one.
This one?
Yep.
Vous avez vu, si tout près, ont écrit cette chanson. Et puis l'autre, c'est bon, ils ont peut-être pas beaucoup d'argent avec, mais ils sont jamais venus à La Roche et nous, on est là pour la 3e fois déjà.
All-Star, Sabotage, J-Pop, opera.
Tube and throat singing.
All-Star Opera.
Smash Mouth Opera, would that work?
Smash Mouth Opera, maybe?
Just if you're looking for search terms.
What if we just do opera cover and see what happens?
No, dude, sex cause J-Pop, it's a good one, trust me.
Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Does anybody know this one?
No, the hip opera.
Lose yourself, yeah, lose yourself.
Hip opera. We did it, you guys.
His vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. He's coming ready to cry.
I truly cannot listen to that. Sorry. Alright, one more, then we're going. Any genre we've missed?
You got all the genres right there. Sabotage.
Alright, we'll keep going. Oh wait, no, I wanted to show you guys that cover that I really like. Have you guys ever seen Yoko Ono singing Fireworks by Katy Perry?
No.
This is truly
How does it end?
Yes?
Can you just turn it up a little?
Is that what the thumbs up was like? Really stop the Yoko Ono? Okay, sorry. I wanted to watch to the end. I love it.
This whole thing was just an excuse for Corey to show us this video.
Wait, what genre was that?
That was Yoko Ono.
Fluxes.
All right. So anyway, just been thinking a lot about music covers. Basically, that's it. What they are, what they mean, how they work, and want to talk to you guys a little bit about those and how we can apply those in today's camp theme. So let's talk about it. How do cover songs work? All right. So we're going to open this up a little bit to conversation. We've been doing that lately. So the questions generally are like, what remains of the original piece when you cover a song? Like, what has changed from the original piece? And in your mind, what like constitutes like a good cover versus a bad cover of a song? Does anybody have any responses to any of these questions that they want to share?
I think a good example, Weezer just covered Toto's Africa.
I heard about that, yeah.
And it doesn't really, they don't really add anything to it. So I felt like it's not interesting.
So it was exactly like that Yoko Ono thing, right?
No, like
Just a
Yoko
strict reproduction of the original.
She adds a unique identity to the horse. Like, you know, they didn't really add anything new to it. It just feels very straight. You know, so I like covers to at least interpret and feel
Can you recognize that it is Toto's Africa if you hear the Weezer song?
Oh.
Yeah, because it's 1-to-1, you can.
It's pretty much one.
Okay. Yeah.
Conversely, when Taylor Swift covered
Oh.
September, I feel like she stripped it of everything that was interesting about that song.
Yeah, I went to a wedding that covered Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they had maybe 4 instruments, and most Earth, Wind, and Fire songs have about like a billion. So I mean, you just lose a lot with some covers. Although I mean, there are some simplified covers that are still fulfilling in some way of some songs. I can't think of one off the top of my head, of course, but yeah. Anyway, but I mean, a good cover to me is one that can stand on its own in a way, and not necessarily destroy the original vision or what the original song wanted to do. Okay.
Yeah, I think in some ways it's kind of like you take it's like the framework or the structure of something. Sorry, and then you apply expression or style on top of it. Like so in pop music, so much of the time the composer and the performer are either one and the same or tightly coupled, and it's like who made the song and who performed the song are like one thing, and if you only ever hear that, it's like that's one piece. But then like if you hear someone else interpret the song, you really can get an insight into the song itself, aside from the performance, which is kind of cool.
Like the actual sheet musicality.
Yeah.
I think what's really important about a cover is that like the source material has to be like understood on both like the performance end and the viewer end. So if I hear or if I see a cover of a song that I don't know, I just think maybe it's an original song. Like I always think of Creep. I feel like anyone can cover Creep, and because the song itself is like one of the songs that people lose their minds about, like it seems like an amazing cover almost regardless.
That's Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That's true. That song is covered so much.
Yeah.
We could just search
such a good song because it's just written so well.
Oh, Swords and Such Great Heights by Postal Service, then covered by Iron and Wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like the Iron and Wine version was like simple, dead simple, but I think it's amazing.
That's actually another good question: is a cover that's better than the original?
Satisfaction by Britney Spears.
I think one of my favorites is I Will Survive, covered by Kate, because it makes the vocals being covered to an instrumental version, and it really helps cross genre, introduce people to the other genre. So make older songs look more modern, and then it's like
Oh, I've never thought about a cover as updating something, or bringing it into a new era or whatever. Here I go.
I stand by what I said.
I believe you.
So, Johnny Cash covered Hurt, which is kind of an obvious one, but like Julian said, like understanding the source material and like where it comes from and what inspired it is really important to cover.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Johnny, he like covered so many things in his late career, and like not that he has a very strong style, but it's a very minimal, spare style, especially in that, and that's all about discovering the bones of a song and like just making it pure and make it. Which I think is cool.
So my favorite cover is from AV Club's Under the Covers, which is the band Shoo Shoo covers Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top.
Shit, I would love to
So it's Shoo Shoo is a band that I don't think a lot of people know, but it's the world's most depressed caveman and a small Japanese woman covering ZZ Top, and it's like it's such a further step than like understanding the song on both sides. It's like the lead singer of Shoo Shoo has like no real love for like the like swagger of ZZ Top and like the original intention of that song, but he just thinks it's like a catchy pop song with a good structure, and then he just tears it apart into like this really, really like the way he sings is really bonkers and hard to explain. It like you should look it up, but it's like it is a good cover because it is such an extreme like dissection of that song, but it still has just the like distorted guitar hook, so you can still identify it.
Yeah, we should look at the extremes actually, if we can. There's an entire record by what's the thing called? Dirty Projectors. He hadn't listened to the Black Flag album, the one at TV parties on or whatever, in like a long time since he was a kid, and he was like, I'm just gonna cover every song on that album from memory. And he just like went back and covered every one of those songs, and like some of the songs aren't even on the original album. He just like thought they were, and it's fascinating for I think exactly that reason. Like, so yeah, so you can look at the extremes as well, and then I'll also open it up to another question, which is just like everyone's talking about reverence to the original. Is that a factor, or can you just have complete irreverence for the original? You know.
Well, I mean, yes.
I didn't mean you can just whatever you want, Alex.
Covers serve multiple purposes, so you have complete irreverence for something, and it might actually be, it might make the cover terrible. We brought up, or someone brought up, Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. Leonard Cohen is an artist that most people will like in covers because his voice is very always wonderful. But as far as accessibility goes, it's most people will know Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah. If anyone knows First We Take Manhattan, it's someone else's. Bird on the Wire and all that other stuff. But that's beside the point. Most of those covers are completely reverent. There is one that is not, and honestly it doesn't work. It's Power of Song done by Nick Cave. But then again, you have Laura covering Carry On with Wayward Son, like from the AV Club Undercover series. In fact, that entire series is full of irreverent covers that are actually quite good.
If everybody doesn't know about this series, basically AV Club has a list of like a dozen songs every season, and then they have a band in, and you have to pick one song, and then the later the band books, there are fewer and fewer songs, and then they get there and they're like, shit, we gotta do Carry On My Wayward Son. And then they have to just play it, and then they record it. It's pretty funny and good. Any more before we go on to the...
There's that Postmodern Jukebox, is it?
Ah, yeah.
There's also Paul Anka does like a whole album of like pop covers, which is pretty good. Just because you know it's kind of jazzy. There's also Langford. There's some other guys.
So, I mean, yeah, some of those I feel like sometimes they miss, but sometimes when they hit, they hit really well. And you know they'll take it in take an approach that I probably wouldn't have expected. And while it doesn't necessarily capture the spirit of the original, they did their own thing with this, so it's still special in its own way. So I mean, I feel like a good musician and a good group of musicians can really do well with covering almost any style of music as long as they take their time to understand what they're trying to do. I don't know. I'm just being hopeful.
Yeah, I was going to say to the point that you were making, Corey, that having sort of a love for the song. I think some of my favorite covers are clearly of people who have a love for a song from a certain time in their life, and then being able to cover that song later on in their life from a different perspective. I think kind of having, maybe not necessarily like trying to remember what it sounds like to the point of the Dirty Projectors thing, but there's a band from the late 90s called Time in Malta, who's kind of like a experimental kind of metal band that covered Pink Moon by Nick Drake, and it has basically nothing of the original, but I think that's what's really cool about it, is that it's clearly a love of the song from a much earlier time in their lives when they were getting into music, and then kind of covering it now from the standpoint of saying, we don't play music like that in any way, so we're just going to like play something that we loved that kind of got us into music, but we're going to
those covers make
it our own song.
Like why, or like how the DNA of whatever band they're covering ended up making it into the original band or whatever, and you sort of unexpectedly like, oh, this guy does play pop music. I never thought about that before.
And there's the other thing that I was going to say is there's an entire cover album of all Bad Brains songs by a bunch of different bands from a bunch of different genres, and I think that's an interesting case of like bands that have a love of Bad Brains as more of like a monolithic band, and because Bad Brains played heavy metal and punk and reggae and ska, people have totally different opinions of them as a band, and then being able to like sort of bring all those different opinions of that band to the table on an entire album is really fascinating, because it's almost kind of like, I think I should like this band, so I guess I'll cover their song, and so there's like really weird seems like they didn't even hear the songs. They're kind of just like, okay, give me the sheet music and we'll figure something out.
Yeah, so we mentioned Taylor Swift earlier. Like her album 1989 is like album of the year. And you wouldn't think that you would need to cover album of the year, but this guy, the artist, Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams?
What?
Ryan Adams, the guy who did the Stallion Spirit?
Ryan Adams. No, Ryan Adams.
Yeah, and he covered the entire thing, like directly after it came out, and he pretty much embodies the entire soul of the album, makes it sound completely different, almost as if Taylor Swift had made that album at the beginning of her career, but with like a lot more soul. And it's a really interesting transformation of the whole aesthetic and mood of the album without sounding anything like it, and basically just stealing the lyrics and the melody. That's
Alright, so we're gonna talk about covers in another context now. I don't even know if this is gonna work, but I'm very curious about it. Can you cover something besides a song is really the question.
Yeah.
Can you use this phenomenon we're talking about in the context of games? What we're gonna try to do is cover games. We're gonna do covers of our favorite games.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Do a cover of a game. You're going to take this same artistic process of taking something you love and care about and embody the spirit of or whatever, and you're going to put your stamp on it. You're going to cover it. You're going to make your Mario Brothers first-person shooter. You're going to make your Quake turn-based strategy game.
Okay,
You're going to make
Call of Duty, but like.
Hey, you like that suppressor too? I love the thumb grip. So, we're going to try to just capture, in the same way a good cover brings forward the spirit of an original while stamping both the genre and the spirit of the creative artist on that piece. You're going to be doing that with a game, hopefully. I don't even know if this, folks, this has never been done before. Maybe it has, I don't know. But, some parameters here. You can be digital or analog, or folk, you can make a folk game. You can make Thumb War, but Call of Duty, I don't care. And it can be across platforms, right? You can be covering, I don't know, you could be covering Settlers of Catan as a playground game, right? You can be just bringing across platforms is completely fine. It's all about maintaining the spirit of the original, I suppose. But that's important. You must maintain the spirit of the original work, right? Like the goal, I mean, I don't really care if you do this. No, you can do anything you want. But ideally, right, like somebody should play your game and they should know what you're referencing, right?
Wait, so like should you not include the title of the game then that we're referencing, and but have people try to figure it out?
Yeah, so like if you were to hear a cover, any of those covers we just saw, right, you would know what the original song is, with possibly the exception if you don't go, oh no. But like those other ones you would probably know, I would guess. Unless you guys can think of covers where it would just be so off that you don't even know the original. But in general, you're communicating the spirit of the original all the way through. Unless I'm wrong about that? Yes?
For reference, the latest we would share was putting together two games, or I guess two genres of games that don't fit. So like people did like first-person shooter, dating sim, whatever. So like if you want to look at games that don't make a lot of sense, that's a good way to like start.
So maybe I didn't know that, but maybe to differentiate ourselves from those guys.
Copies, but it's okay. I'll support you.
Don't just genre combine, I guess. Maybe just think about it in a more abstract way. Play the game and think about the feel, I guess, and the moments. Cover the juice. I don't care. Like whatever it means for you to. Does anybody know what that means?
Yeah, do a game that's entirely in the style of like Rez.
Exactly.
That would be copying the juice.
Like Tetris.
The feel of the game, right?
Like the dude who's making Rez is making Tetris in VR, and it just looks like Rez, but you're playing Tetris. That's a good cover.
There you go.
Do your research, Corey. Jesus.
Sorry. And then you should So both these things should be true. Somebody should be able to recognize the original, but then also maybe have your stamp as a creator. That's also true of these covers, is you ideally would know both, right? You would know the original and the musician if you were to hear the Cake cover of, what was the song somebody mentioned? Woody maybe?
I Will Survive.
I Will Survive, yeah. I could probably know both those artists if I heard the song, probably. Yeah, does all this make sense? A little bit? Yeah. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to get together and all just talk about these crazy ideas we have, and hopefully you'll find a team and you'll come back in 2 weeks. I really encourage you to work with people you've never worked with before. The most rewarding jam experiences are those in which you meet a new person. Some of my closest friends in here I met through jams. That is 100% true. So try to meet new people. Let's just do a discipline thing really quick. If you'd like to be primarily a coder/programmer on this particular jam, could you please raise your hand? Everybody look around the room at these beautiful, bright individuals trying to make for loops, trying their best to reticulate their spines. All right, if you would primarily like to do, let's separate sound design and music. If you would primarily like to do sound design, not music, but sound design, let's just do both, whatever. Sound and music design, please raise your hand. Everybody look at these beautiful individuals using their F-mod. And if you want to do primarily art assets for this particular game jam, could you please raise your hand? Yes. These people all know Photoshop, you can assume. If you would like to do primarily game design, abstractly, please raise your hand. That's not ashamed. You're not going to come? Alright. And if you would like to, maybe writing will make it into this. If you'd like to do primarily writing in this particular game, maybe you want to raise your hand. Raise your hand on that one. Well, just in case. Anything I missed? HR. If you want to do HR, God, I hope not. I mean, project management is a thing. It is a real thing, and it helps game jam teams. So that's also good. All right, so just split up and talk, and then we'll do like a pitch your idea thing over here in like 45 minutes. But if you don't want to come to that, that's fine. If not, just hang out for a bit, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
There was an alarm going off, so I just snoozed it.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
Thanks.
I don't know.
It didn't interrupt too much.
No, I think it was basically wrapped up.
Just hit that X right there.
Sure.
And then, yes.